Slipping, slipping, slipping away. I can tell you're not content. You don't want to tell me that you're slipping, slipping, slipping away. Like a bud that never bloomed and now can't stand the heat of June. Little light, you've lost your glow. You just cry and no one knows that love isn't your friend.
Hi, I'm Eryn Allen Kane, and this is Theorematic.
It's okay, it's okay. Indigenous time for I drown and there's one more. Open the sea.
I started singing in church when I was 6, on the east side actually, Kona Gardens, Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I got into the choir there, and it kind of just spawned after that. My grandmother is a classically trained pianist, and music was always around me, I guess, growing up. My father loved it, my mother loves it, so it was kind of always in my life, had a very strong presence in my life. So I was just drawn to it and decided to pursue it as an actual career when I realized that I had a knack for it. Yeah, I started because I didn't really do my own music. I kind of gave up on my music for a little bit because of a bad development deal that went down in Detroit, actually, when I was in high school before I left to college. And so I wasn't really focusing on my stuff, and I was just trying to write for other people. So there was like a couple girls that I wrote for, like R&B stuff. And then I went away to Australia, did my own music, came back, found my manager, and I didn't find him. Well, I did find him kind of, but by way of me like talking to a professor, he put me on my manager, and then I started making music. And then Saba, I guess, was the first rapper who like approached Robbie, my manager, and was like, yo, she sings good. Like I did like a couple covers, YouTube covers, and he was just like, yeah, can she like hop on this stuff? And so that was like the first time I'd featured for a rap artist. And then I was always working on my music, and these people that stepped into my life, like Chance and Saba and Prince, they were all seeing what I was already working on, and they were like, oh, we can utilize you here. So it was kind of like somewhat of a battle almost at first, trying to be like, okay, but I still need to work on my stuff. I've been working on it for 2 years. Like, I can totally help you, and it'll get my name out there a little more in the meantime. But it was just kind of a struggle for me a little bit to see all these songs with all these other people, you know, doing all these things. And I'm just like, I still have to show the world my stuff, you know? So it's a little bit of a struggle. So when I finally was able to release my music, at the time I was working 2 nannying jobs and sometimes 7 days a week, and then coming to the studio late at night and recording and that kind of thing. And so once I finally released it and people were like, oh wait, you sing, you're not just like the girl who does arranges back vocals on Chance the Rapper albums. Like, you actually can sing. It felt really, really good and liberating. So yeah.
How many times do I have to tell you? How many times?
When I was with the people that I was signed to in Detroit, they were trying to get me to do the poppy stuff. And I hated it because I was like, I can't just be like this group, like, not that she's not great, but, you know, they were like, oh, Christina Milian. They kept being like, yeah, you'll be perfect like that. You know, you're the young face and you can make this pop music. And I was just like, no, I hated it because that's not the music I grew up on. That's not what was inside of me. And it's not the kind of music that I found substance in. And so I was just like, nah, and that's what kind of made me leave. But all my music has always been pretty soulful. Like the first thing I released, all the covers were like Anita Baker old stuff. And then the first song that I wrote that I actually released was a soulful song called Her Pain. It was kind of like a cover. But yeah, that's always been like my heart and music that I love.
Monday wasn't enough.
So like, I always get the years mixed up, but like 3 years ago, something like that, I released an all a cappella song called Hollow. And I don't know how the hell this motherfucker found out about this, but he must have been like watching, and he hit us up and he actually tweeted the video and the song. And then after that, his camp hit us up and they were like, we want to work. Can we, possibly set something up? And our schedules just didn't match up at the time. And so flash forward like 3 years later, I guess he still had an eye on me. I hadn't released anything, but he was watching, and I released Have Mercy, and he was like, hey girl, can you come make a song with me? And I was like, cool. So then I went out there and we did the song. It was really cool. Like he showed it to me, and I was like, he's like, what do you think you can do? I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, just do you. And I was like, cool. So I hopped in, did me, and then it was a song. They kept everything I did, so that was really cool. It was awesome. Now he's like a mentor to me, so it's a really awesome like relationship. And it was like he at first I was really nervous because everyone kind of looks at Prince like he's like a god, or like I think people get this misconception that like he's this like super diva and he's mean and stuff like that. And he's not at all. He's the funniest dude. He makes fun of himself all the time. And he's just really helpful and encouraging and inspiring. And he's, constantly shooting me, emails here and there talking about other singers and artists that I should be paying attention to. And he wants advice from me. He's like, what singers or artists should I be listening to? So it's a really cool collaborative thing. You want to go? Yeah, I was going to say, just because I can hear this. But yeah, so it's like, he's just a really awesome person. I'm really grateful to have him as like a mentor in my life. I really didn't expect any of this to come about from Hollow, but I guess he's really into supporting artists he really believes in. I think, that's really awesome.
I got a taste for unusual things. This is nothing typical running through my veins. Touch the melted stone into a pool of gold.
Yeah, it was crazy because maybe 5 minutes after I hopped off stage with Prince in Baltimore when we did the piece for our Rally for Peace, I get off the stage and Robbie, my manager, walks up and he's like, Eryn, just why don't you read your email? And I like kicked him out of the phone and I was like, what the fuck? It was Spike, and he was just like, or not him himself, it was his assistant. It was like, Spike needs to meet with you ASAP. And I was like, what the fuck? And then we responded, and then, I guess like there was a lot going on that weekend, so we didn't respond on accident. And then they hit us up again like, okay, Spike Lee wants to meet with you. So then we were like, okay, we get it. And we came back to down and met with him like a few times. And at first it was just him asking me to make music for the film, but I kind of segued into him just being like, hey, I'm gonna write you into the movie. And then I ended up being like one of the principal characters in the film. And I was really grateful. The experience was rewarding. I think a lot has been said about that whole situation, but I really appreciated that.
I don't need your money. No, I don't need your privilege things. All I need is just...
It was supposed to be like one full thing, and then we realized that we wanted to put more on the back end of it. And then we realized that like if we split it up into 2 parts, it actually makes a ton of sense because of the way that it kind of just develops. And it just, it made a lot more sense that way. So we were like, let's split it up. The second half is like a lot more high octane, like going crazy. I have a lot more to say. The first is just kind of getting you used to it kind of establishes me as an artist and my soul music, and then the second part is like kind of showing off a little bit more of what I have to offer and like the things that I have to say. It's kind of just, it's a little bit more out there. So it worked.
You are not the past. No, they want you to hold on to,
I'm definitely doing it for the love of it because I've been doing it for like well, I was doing it back in the day, and like I said, the whole deal went bad and I kind of like kept it on the low, but I've been doing it for so long, and I'm not some like spring chicken. I'm 26 years old and I'm making the music that I want to make. And if I was going for the fame, I would have made like, I would have gone for like the hits, like no one releases an all a cappella song as a single, because in technical world that doesn't make any sense. You don't release a cappella songs. But like for me, I release what I feel is true and what I feel the world needs at that time. And like regardless of whether it gets big or not, just kind of releasing that into the world just makes me feel better. It's therapeutic, And so yeah, I don't really care. The fame thing, it's whatever. As long as I have people who really thoroughly enjoy my music and can listen to it 50 years from now, I'll be straight, even if it's like a group of 70 people, But I think the point is just to make good music that can really